this over here out of the sun real quick. Just saw a clip, so I wanted to talk to you guys really fast about this. Is going to be a real quick live, so people can come back and check this out later on. We're going to be bringing out some more information. So most high willing, I said, but I had to kind of talk about this clip real fast that I saw popped up on one of the shorts. But I'm gonna give people a chance to kind of come in here real quick and kind of chime in a little bit. Thank you again to the moderators. I said I'm probably one of the only guys that just kind of just pops in randomly and things like that. So I don't really like plan them all the time. The live, so it's kind of like if something most I put something on me to kind of talk about, I just kind of get in here real fast and talk about it. But grand rising to everybody that's here. But I just wanted to have a quick little discussion because this was it's just the Most High working, and when you see the Most High working, it's like we got to kind of get out here and talk about it, because there's very few people actually bringing out this truth and then making connections with what we're hearing being talked about here in the world, and scriptures that they approve, the Bible, of course, as well as getting into other books that they have hidden from us as well as connecting that with things like constellations, zodiac signs, the decans, things that are talked about, things that are hidden. So, but a lot of their same arguments, as you can tell, they don't change. They are stuck on stupid, and they're stuck on the same arguments, and in using the random so-called black man to kind of bring out those things that they want to say, and that's what they always do, right? They find some black dude, someone that looks like us, but has Sister Lisa, great seeing you. You're right. Always looking for ways to pin their sins on us. Exactly. It wasn't just us that had slaves. Black people had slaves too. They love that argument. It wasn't just us that was killing babies. It was you guys killing them too. Look, you guys are in your own neighborhoods killing each other right now. You guys are, you look at Chicago every single weekend. You got people killing. You got people killing the other people. We need to get our own selves in order. We need to get our own houses in order. But then they quickly forget about, the fact that they're the ones that are, making this situation the way that it is. They've been, manipulating the situation from the outside the entire time. So they don't really talk about that. They just talk about the end result, about how our people are here, just killing each other and destroying each other. But they're not talking about, their hand in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's really easy to sit there and, oh, look, they're killing each other, they're shooting each other, they're doing this, they're doing that. But then they never talk about their role to play in any of this. They never talk about how, they are manipulating the situation. They're the ones that make it so that it's easier to have a man outside of the house. They have they will give you money if there's no man in the house, but if there's a man in the house, they will, they won't help you financially, correct? So things like that. They create that atmosphere, right? So that there's no man in the house, and then most of the men, many of the men that are in the house, I said they're too busy just not being the men that they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way society has made it. Society has made it that way. So yes, it's just it's wild to see, because their same tactics they use them all the time, but they're not working anymore. Not with anyone that's awakened anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna work on us. But this clip popped up, and it was hilarious because this is black dude. I don't know his name. I'm not gonna talk about his channel or whatever else. But you could tell he's a Republican. Okay, you can tell he supports the Republican Party. So when there's like Republican themes, he's always there, making videos and stuff like that. And I guess he found a clip from the Dr. Phil show when they were talking about the whole reparations thing. And if you've seen I hadn't seen the show, so I kind of just see things popping up and whatever else. I don't watch a whole lot of TV and stuff like that. But what was hilarious was they found a black dude, an older black man who was like 90 years old, right? And he's like, hey, You know, what people don't know, many people don't realize, is that 3,700 black men or black people or whatever else owned 12,000 slaves. You know, so 3,700 black men or black people owned 12,000 slaves. And the dude who had the video is like, hey, look at this. We need this kind of, we need to get this kind of information out there. It was our, a lot of our own people who were owning slaves as well. I'm kind of like thinking to myself, I'm like, hold on. Where in the hell are you getting these numbers from? First of all, you guys, when we ask you guys for numbers for anything, you guys don't have numbers for shit. But all of a sudden, you seem to have exact numbers of how many black people own how many slaves. How is that? How does that work out exactly? How is it that you keep such great records on how many slaves black people owned, but you can't even provide basic numbers as to how many people were in certain cities? You can't come up with numbers with, you can't even come up with pictures of original people that were here when Columbus got here. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, I'm like, you guys, you call us African Americans. Where's our history before Africa? You guys have no records of anything. We ask you guys just basic questions. Like, I don't know, what gives you the right to be able to canonize our scriptures? Crickets, right? Where does it say anywhere that the Gentiles have the authority to, come up with 66 books or 80 books and say this is the word of God and that's it? Where are those records at? You see what I'm saying? Where does it say anywhere that, that the Most High is dealing with the Gentiles and that he's given them understanding of the scriptures? Nowhere, right? But when it's convenient for them, 3,700 or whatever black people own 12,000 slaves. I was like, bro, you guys want to bring out numbers whenever they're convenient for you. You want to bring out numbers when they suit you, supposedly. But then you could just pull out numbers. How the hell am I going to, why would I believe that? Why in the hell would I believe any numbers that you come up with? I've been asking questions for forever, and we get no response whatsoever. But when you want to talk about black people owning slaves, all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's true. In fact, it was 3,700 that owned 12,000 slaves. So it wasn't just white people, that were owning slaves. It was also you black people. Well, let's kind of see, this is what happens when you guys have really mucked up the waters, okay? You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys are the ones who make everything about a black and white issue. So you're always trying to push that like that's us. That's not us. That's you. You're the one that's putting these people in all these categories, saying all black people this, all white people that. You just had the camps come out here and say exactly the same thing you guys have been pushing this entire time. You guys were the ones that made the laws about if you have any drop of black blood in you, you're this. If you have any black blood in you at all, you're that, right? That wasn't us that did that, right? We weren't the ones that put white only drinking fountains, white only bathrooms. That was you guys, right? So you guys are the ones that are always making everything about a black and a white issue, not us, okay? You're the ones that talk about, the black Hebrew Israelites. Again, that's you guys again saying that kind of stuff. You guys are the ones that are always trying your best to make it seem as if it's always about a black or white issue. Now, something you guys don't seem to grasp is the fact that not all black people are the same. But again, that's something that you guys push, that all black people are the same. We all come from Africa and we're all brothers and sisters. We're not. Okay? Throughout the Bible, it's black people, supposedly, or people of color or whatever else, melanated people, having beef with each other. So even back then, the Egyptians, who all of a sudden, it's funny how with this new Cleopatra movie, everybody's all pissed off because they're portraying Cleopatra as a black person, I don't know, on African soil. We can be African, but we still can't be that African, or whatever lands they want to claim as being white or whatever else, they can claim whatever the hell they want. You can be African, but not all of Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's just hilarious. But again, that's because of the whole white supremacy thing, that you guys seem to think that you're the only ones that can dictate where everyone comes from, which lands were what, in history, this is what these people look like, this is what these people look like, this was their lands today, and it was the same people that were here thousands of years ago. That's all you guys. That's not us. Okay? So again, you guys are constantly the ones that are always pushing that. Yes, trust me, I'm sure there are some people who look just like us, okay, that had slaves. Yes, even in the Bible. Egyptians look like us and they had slaves. So that whole argument that, well, just because black people did it, that means if I do it, it's okay. No, because you know what? So called black people had the Hebrew Israelites in slavery. So called Hamites, or you're right, they weren't so called, they were Hamites, Egyptians, right? Mizraim. They had the Israelites in slavery, right? So one supposedly or so-called black race had another so-called black race in slavery. Okay. Now, as much as y'all want to make it sound like Egyptians weren't black, that's your opinion. I've been all over there. They painted themselves, and they made it a point to make sure that they showed themselves as being people of color, melanated, on their own walls. So I'm going to go with what they say. I'm not going to go with what you try to tell me, okay? Because you're trying to give me exact numbers on something there's no way you could have exact numbers on. So you don't know how many slaves or this or how many black people were that. You don't know how many people were here, but you did a census and you made sure you found out the numbers of how many black people owned other black people. You made sure you got those numbers, but all the other numbers for anything else we asked for, you don't have any. That makes no sense. And that's exactly my point. Black people, supposedly, Egyptians, owned other so-called black people, Hebrew Israelites, and what happened to the Egyptians? And what happened to the Egyptians exactly? Oh yeah, they got their asses kicked, right? They got destroyed, right? So that whole argument that, oh, well, so-called black people had them, so therefore it's okay for us. That's okay. You're right. You had us enslaved too. So you about to get exactly the same thing that the Egyptians got. You're going to get exactly the same thing that the Egyptians got. So just because you keep making arguments that so-called black people own black people, yeah, okay. You're not telling us anything we don't know, okay? You're not telling us anything new, okay? That's been going on, all right? That's been going on. But every single group that's had us enslaved has gotten it handed to them at the end, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen here, because the story just repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Except your leaders have been going out of their way to think all of a sudden this is something brand new. America is something brand new. Them, using forced labor to build up their society is something brand new. No, it's not. That's exactly what all these other countries, have done. That's why it's in the Bible. Right? The Babylonians used Daniel and used us to actually get built up and to actually, they moved them up in their courts because they knew that the information that they had was superior to their own people. The Persians and Medes took us and then they built up their society. The Greeks took us and built up their society. The Romans took us and built up their society. The Romans fell. Then the revived Roman Empire did exactly the same thing, took us and built up their society. So it doesn't matter what color the people are that took the Israelites into captivity. All of them were destroyed at the end. So why would this place be any different? Just because you say black people own other black people does not absolve you from responsibility. You can try that. I mean, you know what? You can try that all you want. You can try to, try to get people that look like us to go and plead your case for you. That happened with the fall. That's happened since the beginning. The fallen angels did exactly the same thing, did they not? They went to the fallen angels, knew that they were about to get it handed to them for doing, all these horrible things, right? So what did they do? They went to Enoch, right? Hey, Enoch, man, Most High is not listening to us. Do you think maybe you could go put a good word in for us and maybe see if he would, if the Most High would, if he would show us some kind of mercy, because he's not listening to us. So can you go do that for us, please? And Enoch is like, yeah, sure, I'll go talk to the Most High for you. Did that help the fallen angels? You see what I'm saying? Didn't help them at all. They still got it handed to them. Most High still destroyed them, right? So just because, they think it's just as simple as, okay, you know what, man, you kind of look like them. Yeah, you got some brown skin, hey, can you just kind of come out here and talk about how you guys own slaves too? can you just kind of go out there and talk about the, yeah, you know, I'll give you some numbers. You know what? That's 3,700. That sounds good. 3,700 of you guys own 12,000 slaves. Just go out there and just throw those numbers out there. You know what I'm saying? Just throw those out there. I think, what you think, we're stupid? You think we're all of a sudden now we're like, oh, that's funny. You got those numbers, but you ain't got numbers for anything else. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, if we are like a people of like, you know, that have been around since, you guys all know that you all came from so-called black people. So therefore you should have some information about our history, right? But you don't have nothing. Y'all got nothing. Well, before slavery, man, we just lost all the records. We lost all the records. So we don't know anything about you before slavery. But we do know that 3,700 of you own 12,000 slaves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny, the stuff that you guys got. You guys got all those records supposedly at the bottom of the Vatican, right? You got all those books, right? But you all just, you know, don't know nothing. You know, we ask you guys basic questions and you guys can know nothing. Like I said, that just shows you that those days of just being able to throw out numbers and stuff like that, you know, it's not going to work no more. And like I said, I don't know. Hey, I'm sure there were plenty of sellout so-called black people that owned slaves back then too. But the thing is also this: slavery, yes, it was something that was condoned, but it wasn't the slavery that you guys have been doing. You see what I'm saying? Like, slavery is, a lot of slaves at the end of their time actually decided they wanted to stay with the people that they were working for because they were treated well. So it wasn't like the slavery that you see. You guys think that, you know, slavery is only about the way that you've been treating everybody else. Okay? But slavery isn't always like that, hasn't always been like that. And a lot of, like I said, people also decided to stay with the people that they were working under because they were treated like family. Exactly. They were like servants and part of the family. Exactly. So again, you're making these kind of like arguments about, oh, they own slaves too. Well, do we know how they treated those slaves? Were they like Israelites who actually treated the slaves correctly? Did they actually work together? You see what I'm saying? So like, you just can't throw out the word slavery, because that's the thing, is the way you guys have portrayed it in your movies and everything else isn't the way that the Most High had it, and that's not the way that we used it. You know, and I think after a certain amount of time, they left with money, and I was like thinking about the numbers. You know what I'm saying? The 10, the 12, and you know, that's it. They keep on doing things with the numbers. 3,700 equals 10, which is actually like a 1. Yep, and the 12,000 is like a 3. So 13. I mean, like I said, they're doing all these different things, all these things and these numbers that they actually throw up. So, you know, I'm going to actually go back and take a look at the numbers again, because like I said, there's more to this than just the 3,700 and the 12,000. Why would you even throw up 12,000? Guy goes up to, you know, the 12,000 for the 144,000. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the tribes. So like I said, there's always things that they're kind of throwing out there. You know, there's always things that they're throwing out there. But I just had to kind of come out real quick and just have a quick little discussion about that, because, you know, it's the same things over and over again. Black people own slaves, so therefore, you know, what we did was no big deal. Because it was the older gentleman, he's 90, I guess, and he's like, well, you know, back then we had like really good societies where you could walk out and people would respect you, and they wouldn't, you know, try to harm you, and it's this and that. And the guy who had the video was like, look, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you know what? As a people, we are a very loving people. We actually, you know, had to be taught to be this way. Not all of us are all about money and accumulating things, okay, and things like that. I said, but see, that's what you guys have portrayed us like on television, okay? And television, you guys are trying to make it seem as if we were all about just money and screwing each other over and trying to get ahead. See, that's what you do. And then you project that on us, and then you put that on television, and then the whole world seems to think that that's the way we are. When, I don't know, who's been the one that's run around here and stolen the most of anything? It has not been us. Who are the people that have gone around and raped, robbed, murdered, and stolen everything? Has that been put on TV? Nope. You see what I'm saying? But Those are things that you guys have been doing, and then you project those kinds of things on us, and you put it on television, and everybody seems to want to act like that's the things that we've done. I says, so yes, we are very loving people. Yes, in our own societies where we would look out for each other, we would take care of each other. That's all part of our jubilees. That's all part of our Bible. That's all part of the code of conduct for our people. So they want to make it sound like that was something that's how it was back then, and we had two parents in the home. Yeah, yes, we did. Yes, we were a model society. Yes, and we will be a model society again. We were the shining example that everyone would come to learn from. So it's funny when you hear these certain things like, oh well, yeah, well, they used to like it was so much better before, but it got worse. How? Just because of the things that you guys have done to make it worse. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys, it's absolutely hilarious. During the time of Solomon, did not everyone try to come and get wisdom from Solomon? During the time of Enoch, did not people anoint like Enoch like the king of like all of the world pretty much, and everyone listened to the things that Enoch said? Right? Because their society was run in such a way that the other people looked up to it. You see what I'm saying? So yes, you can sit there and talk about how things used to be and how, it used to be two-parent households and you guys' society used to be this, but now it's not like that anymore. Well, how in the hell did it get like this? It didn't get like this by itself. Because you guys are always trying to do things behind the scenes and then act like you had nothing to do with it. Who made this mess? That's what you guys are like all the time. As you guys were the ones that came in, everything was nice before. You guys went into the room, kicked everything, down, destroyed everything, walked out, walked right back in and said, who made this mess? That's you. Those are the things that you've been doing. You've been the ones that were running around making these messes and destroying everything. And then you just erase that from history. And then you you walk out, you come back in 10 seconds later and you say, who made this mess? Well, you know what? If you guys all follow me, I'll help you clean it up. That's you. Well, yeah, we made some mistakes. We made some mistakes. Yeah, we had some slavery going on. But look, man, 3,700 of you had 12,000 slaves. So therefore, anything that we did before that means nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, now you're going to be dealing with the Most High. See, it doesn't matter what you guys say as far as 3,700. If there were 3,700 people, so-called black people, who had slaves and were treating them the way you treated us, they're going to get this work just like you are. And what's a beautiful thing is this, we don't have to have the records because you know why? The Most High has the records. The Most High keeps meticulous records. So he knows exactly who's done what. He knows exactly who's been benefiting from our downfall. He knows exactly that, that the descendants are here now and they're living deliciously. So he's the one that keeps the records. Remember, our spirits keep on coming back. So we're just like our forefathers before. So the ones that were doing these horrible things, they're here again. They're in these new bodies right now. They're enjoying the fruits of their labors from lives past. But now the Most High is about to make you pay, and you want to make it sound like, oh, I had nothing to do with it. That's okay. You can tell me that because I have no records. I have no idea. But you know who does know? The Most High knows. You see, this is why they hide stories like the one that was in, was it Jubilees or Jasher, where when the death angel came for Egypt, right? And remember how the death angel said what the firstborn of the household is going to die, correct? Now, in the movies, they just show you the ones that are living, right? They just show you the firstborn of the living dying because they want you to believe like, it's only about the people who are living. It's only about the people who are here that, the Most High is going to deal with, right? But see, there's a hidden story in the whole thing when it says, remember, the firstborn of the household is going to die, right? So who would know if you have a whole flock of animals and they all look exactly the same, just like so-called black people look exactly the same, right? How is it that the Most High knew to kill this sheep and not this sheep? This dog, but not that dog, because the Most High knew exactly which one was the firstborn of the animals as well. And he killed them too. So he sent the death angel, and the death angel showed you that just because you say, it wasn't me, I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm here right now. The Most High knows who's who. And that's what's hidden in these stories. So when he sent the death angel, and the death angel went and what is it? Had he killed like the animals, the first animals also, but he also had the dogs go and dig up. If your firstborn had already died, the dogs would go and dig up the firstborn that was already dead and pull out the bones and take them to the house too. So it wasn't like they got out of it too. The dog went and got those bones from the firstborn that was already dead, dug them up and brought them to the house. So that shows you that the Most High keeps meticulous records, and that he knows exactly who is who. And it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what you look like, because the Most High knows exactly. He put a spirit on that dog. Hey, you go dig up those bones, get those bones, bring them back, and drop them off at the front door, so they can see that he didn't get out of it either. He got dealt with too. He's getting dealt with too. Animals, firstborn of the animals. You can't tell by looking at the animals if there's a whole herd of sheep, a whole herd of cows, a whole herd of oxen. Most High's like, yeah, that was a firstborn. Kill that one. Yeah, that's the firstborn. Kill that one too. Yeah. I know y'all can't tell the difference, but I damn sure can. Kill that one too. See, this is what you're dealing with. This is the kind of power you're dealing with. You're not dealing with one that, in your movies, it only deals with the ones that are alive. So that's what you guys think. Everything is about the only people that are alive, and that's it. But see, the Most High has got a whole spiritual, understanding that is way beyond anything that we can understand. You see what I'm saying? So when that's why those books are hidden, because they don't want you to realize, he's keeping these kind of records, and he knows who's who even after death. He's looking at the animals, and he knows the difference between who's who even with the animals. That's why it talks about the hair on your head, and the Most High has them all counted and everything else, because the Most High knows all. The Most High knows all. So just because you come out with the whole 3,700 on 12,000 doesn't mean anything, because the Most High knows of those 3,700 suppose that you came up with were the ones that were either treating us right or the ones that were treating us wrong, and the Most High is about to make them pay also. So it doesn't matter what you look like. That's why in this truth, as the Most High is calling you to it, I don't care what you look like. I said all it matters is what the Spirit is. And if the Spirit is calling you into this, that's what matters. All the other stuff doesn't matter. Okay? They're the ones that have really devolved society into everything is about color, not us. Because like I said, you start going into Scripture, you start realizing that many of the people that, had us in slavery look like us. So, and the Most High knew who exactly to destroy and who exactly to have mercy on. You see what I'm saying? Just like, was it Rahab when they went into the city and they destroyed the city, but the Most High took care of the ones that helped us? The ones that helped the spies that went in and checked out the city, they were going out there and they were doing recon before they destroyed the city. And she helped them to escape from not being captured. So like I said, and the Most High took care of her, Rahab, and her family, and protected them when the Israelites came to town. So like I said, your thinking and your breakdowns of everything is not going to work anymore. Exactly. She helped us and became part of our nation. Exactly, Didiah. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So if you think about it, the Most High's given you plenty of understanding. Okay, and he's telling you that if you bless Israel, you will be blessed. If you curse them, you will be cursed. But you better damn sure be sure and figure out who the real Israelites are and who you should be blessing at this time. Now, I know a lot of you guys, maybe some people here went to church. Hey, why don't you run that by your pastor about that whole story about the death angel coming for the Egyptians and coming and actually digging up the bones of the firstborn and killing the first animals of the livestock of a certain family members as well. Why don't y'all talk to y'all pastors about that? Or maybe he's just going to give you a same sermon he gave you last year at this time and nothing new whatsoever. Exactly. The lessons of the past are still applying nowadays. Exactly, Didiah. All right, family. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I might come back in later on, but I got some more information to bring out. But I wanted to bring that out because most time had moved me to make a quick video about this, because like I said, the whole "hey, black people did it too" arguments ain't gonna work, because black people have been doing it before you did it. That's the funny thing. So-called black people were destroying us before you did it, and they got this work. So what makes you think that you ain't gonna get it? You're gonna get it too. But the Most High, just like right now, the spies were sent out, and and they were helped by certain Gentiles, and those Gentiles became part of the nation, and they actually got taken care of when the destruction came. Some of you are getting an opportunity to actually make a choice right now. All praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.